What's up, everybody? How are we doing? Love that little intro that we do there. It's really cool, and it counts you down to it. Um, we want to welcome you back to Helmet Holler Live. We missed last week because we were on our way back from Cryptid Con.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we are back in action. You guys let us know that you can see us and hear us, and we will get it going. I have that other intro that didn't play for some reason, but hey.
It's all right.
Do it live. All right. Let's see. Let us know that you can see us and hear us, and we'll get the show on the old Rotorino here.
Can anyone see and hear us? All good, Cynthia.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, Cynthia.
Dynamite. There we go.
Yeah, we've been going nonstop since we got back from Crypticon, and we're going to kind of talk about some of the stuff that happened at Crypticon today. We had kind of a palaver with our members about it, and a couple other streams with our members since we got back, but this is the first time we've done one with everybody, so we're going to kind of go over kind of what happened, a little after action report, and we're going to talk a little bit about that crazy stuff that's been going on across the world with all of these UAP sightings. And a lot of them, shockingly enough, look almost exactly like our Brown Mountain Lights footage.
Yes, indeed.
So Joe has been covering this. Joe's been following this.
Covering this like I'm in the intrepid boy reporter in the field.
He's got his finger on the pulse of the UAP news. We're doing a new thing with our members program. We're going to try to be doing updates throughout the week. We're going to be doing short lives. It may be me by myself or Joe by himself, but whenever there's kind of a breaking news situation, we will go live for our members, and we're just going to call it the Holler Report. The Holler Report. So Joe has done one of those concerning these lights that's been going on. But yeah, we're just going to kind of try to break some news and kind of get on it first so that it can be you heard it here, folks. You heard it here first. So, yeah, Alan Howell, UFOs attack tomorrow. Joe, do you want to go into that? Or you want to talk about the Crypticon
Let's talk about Crypticon first.
Yeah, let's talk about Crypticon.
Get that out of the way. So we appeared and spoke at CryptidCon, and when I say we appeared and we spoke, because I was actually on the stage speaking for once. Usually that's a Jesse thing.
Yep.
Because as usual,
technical difficulties.
The person who was in front of us, not an issue.
It was Charlie Raymond.
Charlie Raymond was before us.
Opened the day, so I spoke.
Not an issue.
We spoke on Saturday. We were second. Charlie Raymond was first. He was the first speaker of the morning. We actually went on right before Giorgio from Ancient Aliens. So I think that was pretty. It was quite an honor.
First speaker, no problems at all. We started off okay, and then as soon as what we do is that we don't talk about other people's encounters, reports, anything like that. Some of these things sometimes are just basically people's vacation photos or them talking about third-hand information. We basically just go over what we've experienced, what we've been able to document, and kind of give people an idea to what we do. But started off okay, and then as soon as we got into the portion of the occult evidence that we have run into, especially in the North Georgia mountains, bam, like microphone starts messing up, our voices start getting we sounded like a couple of robots. It was really weird.
I was honestly waiting for Joe to go on there and just start going, domo arigato.
Yeah, it was crazy. So thank you for that, Oki. We appreciate you. Thank you. So we, and I even went, because I hopped up at that point. I was just like, did the person before us have any problems? And everybody's like, no. And I'm like, just us. Awesome.
Just us when we talk about the occult.
So, and then afterwards, Giorgio was up. No problems with him except when he talked about the Nephilim.
Yeah.
It started messing up on him actually when he spoke about the Nephilim. But we did that. It was really cool. We got to meet a lot of people that watch our stuff.
The lurkers.
Lurkers.
This is a shout out to you, the lurker out there. We met so many people. They're like, I'm a lurker. I never comment. I'm never in the chat, but I'm always watching. So I just want to say shout out to you guys. You guys are the MVPs and all this because you guys actually showed up to the conference.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, there were a ton of like people that would walk up and go, "Oh my Lord, I just, I'm so glad to meet you, Joe." Jesse doesn't really matter, but Joe, I'm so starstruck by seeing you. This is the greatest moment of my life. People would actually say that. But then I would go, "What's your name in the chat?" And they would go, "Oh, I don't chat. I just watch. I lurk." And we just heard that repeatedly over and over and over again throughout the day. So it's pretty cool. Met a lot of like just neat people. Met just a ton of cool people.
I got to get re-upped on my cache of Vienna sausages and beanie weenies and cheese crackers. So the snack stock has been replenished.
And so surreal. Hello, my fellow lurkers. But yeah, it was neat, man. It was neat. It was LW says there were several audio problems on day 2.
We were trapped at the table when we weren't on stage on Saturday morning. We were trapped at the table because it was so busy. There were so many people that came through, and we have so many just cute little things that occurred. There was this kid that came through, and he had to be what, 5, 6 years old.
And he wanted Jesse. He had a little book. He had a little cryptid book.
He wouldn't talk to me. He just had his little book, and his mom was like, "All right, go on, go ahead." And he had his little book, and it was American Monsters. It's a kid's book, and he had it open to the Dogman page, and he wanted me to sign the Dogman, and that was really cool. We gave him a little hat because we had 2 kids' hats. So we gave him his own custom little helmet holler.
All the lurkers are coming out of the shadows right now.
So. The lurkers.
But
it's the year. Hey, 2025, the year of the lurker.
Year of the lurker. But so it was cool. It was, it was a 100% positive experience. Everybody we interacted with, everybody that we got an opportunity to meet, we were taken kind of aback by how cool a lot of people were.
Yeah.
It's weird because if you were just to gauge like let's just call it the cryptid community, just on like the online craziness, Jesus Lord, it's a cesspool. Do you know what I'm saying? But then you get to these places and you meet the people that are really into it, and they're into it enough to actually go to these things. Universally, just 100%, just awesome. Just so cool. So awesome. Well,
little did we know we had an army of badass lurkers just waiting
indeed.
In the
just all of them are just coming out.
And they're coming out right now.
We did have a big crowd in the audience, man. It was nuts. I mean, I was expecting everybody to just because the day we spoke, we were the only real people that I haven't really been on network television.
Yeah. We spoke on the day that Maria Mayer and Russell Accord spoke. They spoke that day. Renee Holland.
Giorgio. Is his name Giorgio? Ancient Alien? I only know him as Ancient Aliens guy. So
it's Giorgio Tsoukalos, I believe.
I think so. But it was 100% positive. It was great.
Yeah.
We even had people who were in the BFRO, like hardcore BFRO people. And were like, I don't even know what their rankings are, like regional heads, regional directors. I don't know what the structure is over there, but asked if we would come out on some of their outings. And I'm just going, you got the right guy, you're talking to. And I literally said that. I was like, do you have the right guy? Do you have me confused with somebody else maybe? We're into some weird stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you guys are, but they're very complimentary on like our field approach and just our field investigations and everything like that. So it was kind of cool having people who have completely diametrically opposed, the opposite side of the coin viewpoints and approaches on this stuff. Compliment us on what we do and say that we bring some value to it. So it was just, again, overall, just awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, we had an absolute blast. I've got one here. Oh, Holly Sparks said, lurking with my little boy who loves Jesse. He always falls asleep watching all on Monday nights. I didn't know that we were such a hit.
We got to watch our language. There's more kids in this than what we, really are. We got to kind of
child lurkers.
Yes, indeed, the child lurkers.
We don't ever curse in the videos though. We did early on because in our day-to-day life it can be pretty pretty R-rated when we're
Mhm.
discussing things with each other. But for our videos, we've actually gone to great pains to not use foul language in our videos
Because we used to drop the occasional bomb
yeah.
in the early ones, and then we
Yeah.
kind of realized as this got bigger, we were
That
like,
there's kids that watch it. There are.
I mean, I'm I bring a lot of inspiration for the younger generations. I think there's probably millions of kids at this point who look up to me and
yeah,
admire me,
for sure.
and I just really just kind of that's a heavy burden. But you know what, my shoulders are strong enough.
You're the role model they're all looking for.
And they
That's
need
what
it. They didn't even know they needed it, but here I am.
A man who does such a good job why wouldn't you be a good role model? You know what I'm saying?
Indeed. Cynthia says rarely hear cursing in here for once. Yeah, it gets stressful out in the woods, and whatever you see is authentic. And unfortunately, sometimes you authentically curse when crazy stuff happens. We try to be much more mindful of that nowadays because then at the beginning, we should have been more mindful in the beginning too. But and it's weird because now, even if we're not filming, I will catch myself because we both worked in bars for a while, curse like sailors.
Mm-hmm.
But now that's one good thing that's come out of the channel is that our day-to-day language is cleaned up a little bit.
We're better people now, you see.
I've grown. We've all grown.
We've all grown.
Thank you for that, Alan. Great capture. The lights in the trees. Best boots on the ground team ever. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit. But thank you for that.
They're calling the little lurkers.
The little lurkers. But one of the crazy things that happened during CryptidCon, and we're not going to go into like detail on this, is one of the people that was there had a medical episode, which caught kind of everybody off guard.
Yeah, it was right across from our table.
Right across from our table, and started to go into seizures. And the people that were with them started to basically
render aid as if it was
like an epileptic fit or a seizure of some sort. And they were with them. And so we just kind of went, all right, well, obviously they're aware of what's happened. This has probably happened before. So they're mobbed in with people. Jesse and I are pulling tables back to give people room. And Russell Accord from Expedition Bigfoot is on the other side.
I think he jumped over a table.
He did. He all of a sudden gets this look on his face, jumps over a table and starts shoving people to get in there. And when he shoved enough people out of the way, Jesse goes, oh my Lord, she's turning blue. So he kicked into gear. He recognized it before anybody else did. Luckily, he happened to catch a glimpse of the person between the bodies that were surrounding her and just jumped in and started CPR. And started CPR, kept her alive. And a friend of ours that was with us, can we mention him by name?
Yeah, they watch the show.
Our buddy Bill, who lives near us, Bill and Monica, they're in the chat sometimes.
Yep. And they've come to a couple of these conferences.
And Bill's an EMT, so he heard the commotion. Maria Mayer actually went running through the audience, like trying to find an EMT. And
Bill just runs into action, man.
Jumps in. But before he got there, she would have passed away if it hadn't been for Russell Accord.
I think she coded at that point.
Yeah, and Russell Accord kept her going until Bill was able to get it, and then the two of them
got a pulse,
kept her alive until the EMTs got there.
Yeah.
So
my hubby Bill, there you go, Monica.
It's our boy Bill. Is our boy Bill in here? So
Monica's on here.
But just total rock star moment for everything. And just say what you want about Expedition Bigfoot. Say what you want about it. I know people have strong feelings one way or the other. Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to say this, that everybody else just assumed it was, because again, you're going, all right, the people that are with her, they're treating this as if they've seen this before.
Yeah.
And luckily, Russell Accord got a glimpse of it and then made the decision to just go, I don't care if these are her people or not. I see what's going on.
Yeah, it wasn't a standard seizure. It was something beyond that.
And he kept her alive until our boy Bill got in there. And then they just, anyway, I know Expedition Bigfoot elicits strong opinions from people in the community, but you can't take away from Russell Accord's a real freaking deal, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he jumped into it. That poor lady would be dead by now if it wasn't for him, and then it wasn't for our boy Bill. So anyway, so that was crazy. Do you know what I'm saying? So we had that going on. But
that was a lot of excitement on Sunday.
That was wild. That was towards the end of the day. But yeah, it was just, other than that glitch, and even that, they turned a negative into a positive. They kept her alive, and I guess she's doing better now and everything. But But yeah, we kind of wanted to mention that because, everybody's always just like, oh, Expedition Bigfoot's so fake. I'm not there. I can't speak as
that was some real CPR.
That was some real damn CPR that the man jumped into effect and wasn't frozen, didn't hesitate, anything. He saw it and then bam, was right in. So
yeah, fantastic.
So pretty crazy.
And stuff. Then after the show, we'll update you guys on this. After the show, I'm sorry, you go ahead and put that up there.
I was just gonna say everybody's giving Monica the old props for having a rock star husband.
She's got good taste. Monica's got good taste. So after the show was done, after everything was packed up, all the speakers had ended and everything, we finally had time to do a handoff of a piece of equipment. So I commissioned a piece of equipment from the Wizard of Soggy Bottom himself, the Deuster, Dewey Edwards. I commissioned a piece of equipment. Thank you for that,
Carino, by the way.
Thank you, Carino.
So much. We appreciate it.
Awesome. I commissioned a piece of equipment from him to be used in my contact project. I'm still working on the official name of my contact project, but it is that project where I am trying to make contact consistently with the other side and try to have some sort of line of communication. And I'm going to use different contact modalities to do that. And I'm going to experiment with these different contact modalities, one of which is that Estes method that we did, that we used during the Devil's Graveyard that we released on Halloween.
Because we talked about in the past about people using CE5 as a way to elicit response from UFO activity, lights in the sky. And we're like, well, let's try it with stuff on the ground. I mean, and people do it in the paranormal world, with the Estes method. And our whole thing is what about the physical things that are running around the ground? Is there a way to possibly there seems to be some sort of spiritual component to this, or I guess that's the closest approximate term for it. But Jesse's just dove into this head first. Well, the Deuster dove into it, I don't know, with everything he had. It's crazy.
Well, when we were talking about and Joe filmed the handoff, he filmed the reveal, and I'll share some of that footage. Eventually, I'll share some of that footage. It's part of a larger project. I'm going to be writing a book about this and hopefully putting together a couple of full-length documentaries about this, because this is a huge undertaking. If I'm successful, it's going to change everything. Mm-hmm. If I'm able to make contact with the other and do it consistently, it's going to change everything. But I think that it's a huge project, a huge undertaking. But when we have someone like Dewey Edwards building what he built for me, and there's only one of one, there is no other piece of equipment like this in the world.
Dewey has been injured himself left and right. So Dewey's been laid up and bored. So you have a diabolical intellect like Dewey Edwards, who has an electronics background, probably the most experienced person in paranormal research that anybody knows.
We forgot.
And he had a bunch of time on his hands.
We forgot to grab. He gave us two other pieces of equipment.
Oh, I can go grab those.
Yeah, so they're on the shelf in my office.
Yeah. I'll grab those because those are just.
They're both on the right shelf. They're just on the shelf there. So he gave us two DuPods to test out. Joe's gonna go grab those out of my office right now. We'll show you guys how those work. But Dewey is just a mastermind when it comes to these paranormal electronics. So I had him build this unit for me, and hopefully it is going to be the key to unlock the door to connect me with whatever else is out there, the other. I'm looking at the chat right now. So I'm super excited to deploy that. Now I have to do some testing with it. There has to be a lot of testing before I really deploy this piece of equipment, because it's actually a very dangerous piece of equipment. If we ramp it up too much or use it incorrectly, we can injure myself pretty badly. All right, so he brought with him for us to test out a couple of these. These function like REM pods, so they sense when anything is near them. This is the DuPod.
DuPod.
Show you guys this. Look at this thing. We got some ghosts on there. All right. There's a switch. He just builds these.
Everything's overbuilt.
All right.
Here I go.
Isn't that crazy?
Standard, like a standard REM pod, but like times 10.
And you can change this. You can change the sound.
It's nuts, man.
Yep,
It's
let's
absolutely
go again.
nuts.
There's another one. Isn't that cool?
But it's more powerful than a standard little rinky-dink
REM
like
pod.
REM pod.
Yeah, it's overbuilt.
It's got like big switches on it. It's rechargeable. It's got like a giant antenna. It's just nuts. And then we have a static detector that he made, which I've been wanting one. I was going to get just like a little small one. Let me see if I can get a static charge off of something here. I don't know. No static in here, but a little static detector. Probably off my microphone. But I told him he needs to just start making these like custom. You know, it's so awesome. So this was the buildup to the big piece that Jesse got. And when they did the unveiling, it's weird. So at that point, there's a bunch of people around us. Let me drop this down here real quick. Who do kind of the cutesy cryptid stuff, you know, squonk t-shirts, you know, Bigfoot oven mitts, you know, and people are into that. That's awesome. That's good. But they're standing there just going, what the hell is this? And then other people that are like real deep into the investigation portion of this, and then the thought and the possible science behind it, like Ron Lanham from Wildwood, West Virginia,
Ron was watching the reveal,
just standing there with his hand over his face, going. And it was wild. It was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. So we're gonna unveil that, and I know we're doing a big buildup on it because damn, it deserves a big buildup. It's literally no way that anybody's just gonna go. That was a lot to do about nothing. It's freaking.
It's
cool.
wild.
It's cool.
It's really.
It
wild.
is a novel take on something that's been out there for a little bit. It's more powerful. It's more versatile. It's more
precise.
I just looked at it just going, I don't, you know, and what's crazy is that again, it was Dewey having a bunch of time on his hands and wanted to, once the seed got planted, wanted to see if he could do it. And he did it. He did
it. But we're going to start running some tests with it, just running some trials with it, working our way up to really using it and putting it through its paces. But I am going to probably post just a little preview to members at some point soon, just to kind of show a little bit of what we've got.
And what's going to be crazy is this. Then I want to see people try to emulate this. Because there ain't no emulator.
And Dewey's not building another one.
Dewey ain't building another one.
Dewey is like, this is one of one. This is one of one.
Again, I asked Ron, I was like, because Ron and I are looking at it, and Ron and I are like so like freaked out about it. We're finishing each other's sentences. And I'm just going, do you think anybody could do it? He's just like, no, man, this is bizarre. This is just bizarre. It's bizarre and it's crazy. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
That sums us up. Bizarre, crazy, dangerous. There you go. Hellbent Holler, bizarre, crazy, dangerous. Safety third.
Safety third.
Finding the Trackway was there. Welcome to you remember once before. Welcome back to the membership.
Welcome back to it.
He was there. So
I think I got a couple of things started. We've been looking at.
Let me kind of go through here.
We've been wrapped up in the old.
Stumbled on your channel yesterday. I've been watching everything. Welcome to the channel.
You got a lot to catch up on.
Mondays, for those of you who are new, is freewheeling. We have no agenda. We come with topics. We sometimes rarely even hit the topics. The chat predicates kind of how the discussion goes. This is supposed to be interactive. These are not supposed to be huge shows. They're just supposed to be just for the people that are really into the channel and support it, for us to be able to kind of interact with them a little bit.
Yeah, have a discussion. We get a lot of cool ideas.
I usually do a pretty good job on these Monday night shows.
He does a great job. He does a great job. But sometimes we get together, we kind of palaver about things, and we'll crowdsource a couple of ideas. We'll work through some ideas, and we've got such a diverse crowd that watches the show and joins in on these chats, that everybody's got kind of a cool different perspective on everything.
Stitchwitch says that Dewey is doing better than I thought they would. But here's the deal. We might need more equipment. We might need to keep Dewey partially incapacitated.
You want me to go Tanya Harding him?
We're going to have, that's exactly what I was going to say. We're going to have to Tanya Harding Dewey. Dewey's going to wake up and go, oh, I'm completely healed. I think I'm going to stop building stuff for Hellbent Holler now and go out and enjoy the world. And he's going to walk out on his porch. I'm going to be in the bushes with like a tire iron, and I'm just gonna pop him real quick, and then he's gonna be like,
He'll never know it's you.
I don't even know what happened. It must, and then I'll be on the phone going, it must be the spirits, Dewey. You're getting too close. The Tanya Harding, the man. Keep our flow of high scientific equipment here. All right.
Jesus.
Kaiju Ninja, during the winter, do you investigate a lot or not as much? The winter is, we're in the South and we operate in the mountains. So the summertime, the big problem is staying hydrated because we end up spending more time looking for water. But
we hit it hard.
We hit it hard this summer. Yeah. We used to take the hottest part of the summer off. We don't do that anymore. The winter is got its own, like we did a quick live stream from the mountains because we were out, like took a break from the investigation we were on to go to an area where we'd seen strange lights before. Mm-hmm. And the problem you run into then is battery drain, just not anything paranormal or anything like that, but just regular battery drain because it gets so cold. It was very cold. It was very damp up there. So it was kind of playing havoc on the equipment a little bit. So that's a problem. That and our hands, you have to you can't wear super thick gloves because you have to be able to manipulate the equipment, and then your fingers get numb and then you can't manipulate the equipment. So
we were doing a live stream on Saturday. We did a live from this area where we've actually seen these lights appear in the trees, and it happened while we were out there. We actually brought our Psionics Pro out there with us, and Joe and I are having to pass off the live streaming stuff back and forth because we're holding everything up, and the pain from the cold was so bad. So we're having to pass it off back and forth. But you kind of just deal with it. Yeah. Oh, I wanted to get on here and say Jessica Smith is suggesting that we Buffalo Bill Dewey.
Do a what was the Stephen King thing? Kathy Bates?
Misery.
Just keep Dewey chained to the bed. And then just be like, Dewey, just throw like circuit boards at him every once in a while.
It puts the diode in the box.
Yeah, so.
Poor Dewey.
Poor Dew. He loves it.
I'm sorry. I was getting rid of that. You and I click on things at the exact same
Crino
time.
asked, do we have any new investigation videos coming? Yes, it's been a little, we had Cryptid Con, which kind of put us back a little bit. And then we had a period of nothing really happening. It was weird. Usually in the beginning of like the fall, stuff ramps up, and that was not the case here.
Yeah.
This past investigation was good. We had some weird stuff happen.
Yep. And we should have that out. I should have that video done and out for a premiere for Friday.
Yeah, and it was weird hints of something going on up there.
Yeah,
I don't want to get too much into it and spoil it.
It was sort of this is a new area that we've not really investigated before.
Stuff that we've never seen before.
Yeah,
which and at first I'm going, well, it's probably just nothing, and then third or fourth time I'm going, all right, this is like weirdness that we have not seen yet, and I don't have a.
But that should be out Friday.
Theory as to what's going on up there.
So we're back in the saddle on releasing videos and everything. Yeah. So that should be out Friday. But it's got there's a lot of bizarre things that we find on this.
And keep in mind,
expedition.
We've got a pretty good track record because we go into areas that have activity, and we go in just the two of us. We're prepared to capture it, but at the same token, we're kind of at the mercy of having something weird happen. You can't really force it. Although with this contact experiment, that's what we kind of want to do. We kind of want to like stimulate the activity that takes place. So, and see if maybe that can be done a little bit. But Spooktator Bob says, got to sell a lot of merch. We launched a merch store.
Oh, I have that here. If you guys would like to check that out.
Now we got hit hard as soon as we launched it. We got hit hard, and the stuff that we were taking care of shipping is like going pretty quick. Or it's gone. But we have launched a merchandise store.
So we have limited quantities on some stuff. Let's take a look at it here. This is our Hellbent Holler official merch shop that we launched today to the public. It is hellbentholler.shop. That's the web address for it. Raw, real, dangerous merch. We've got hoodies on here with my favorite phrase that I've ever come up with. Make cryptozoology dangerous again. And I got two variations. I got one with this cool little Bigfoot here, and then I've got another with our boy Zadogaman on there. But we also have, of course, hoodies and t-shirts with this design we had done up. Cocaine Dogman.
And we didn't think that YouTube was going to allow us to link that.
I had to get approval from YouTube to put it on the product carousel on our page. But yeah, we got that design done up a couple months ago by Jonathan Dodd. And it was just like the best conversation ever. I was like, hey, Jonathan, could you do me up a design for a t-shirt, Cocaine Dog Man? Oh yeah, no problem.
Not a problem.
And then we're just trading, points back and forth about, okay, with this, you want it like this and this and this. And he goes, I added the straw in the nose just for a little fun. So there you go. And then we got sizes that go from extra small all the way to 5XL on those. And then you've got
because we have some huge mountain of men.
We do. JD Smooth is a mountain of a man.
JD Smooth is a monster of a man. Do you know what I'm saying? So it was crazy.
We got to support your local Hellbenders t-shirt, of course.
We got LW who.
He's also a mountain of a man.
Yes.
We could have like a strongman competition with just Hellbenders. I'm telling you, and we would take the day. Looks like the hats are all sold out. These are all hats that are embroidered by the Stitch Witch herself, but we are all sold out on those hats. Those went quick, didn't they?
Yeah.
Dang. All right. But we have coffee mugs with these designs on them. And so it's I love this water bottle. Did you see the water bottle yet?
No, I haven't seen any of that. Wow, that's awesome.
Look at that thing. Isn't that cool? Yeah. It's a stainless steel insulated water bottle, so you can put hot or cold beverages in it. But that is our merch website. We are really excited to
order a bunch of it because we make like pennies for each thing. So you got to order like a ton. Because literally, I was just going, we're selling a ton of merch. Just
for all of your friends.
So,
but yeah, we've got the Helmet Holler logo on hoodies.
Put that in the chat thing there. So, but yeah, if you guys want to rep some Helmet Holler stuff, this is more a labor of love than anything else.
Everybody's been wanting gear. They've been wanting merch. So finally, I've been working on this, and we have it now. So, I'm gonna put the link to that in the chat. Linda asked about long sleeve t-shirts. I can add those in. Right here's the link to this merch store. I can add those in, and I'm going to be adding in designs as we go along too. I know that, we come up with crazy stuff during these Monday night shows, and everybody's like, oh, we need a t-shirt of that. So now when we make that declaration, I'll be able to go in here. I can design something up and put it in the merch store, and you guys can get your own Helmet Holler collection going.
Damn, we're shilling hard, man.
Shilling hard. Well, I'm excited. I spent a lot of time.
No, you did. You did. I'm just saying though, because I'm gonna be like head to toe.
You know what we need?
I'm gonna look like Dale Earnhardt, God rest his soul. Just the hat, the jacket, the shirt, the pants.
I can design you up some pants, boy, some sweatpants. You're not really a sweatpant guy, but
I'll start. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to learn.
You'll be a sweatpant guy. But yeah, I'm just excited about it because we've been doing this for many years at this point. People have been asking for merch, and we've started out just doing kind of the t-shirts, just at conferences that we attended or anything like that, and now we've expanded into this. So,
hello, Eric. We have not seen you in a while.
Hi, Eric Vasquez.
I hope you are well. So, MK Ultra wants to know if short shorts are available yet. Let's get right on that. So,
I guess I'll write that down. How short are we talking?
Patty got a good idea. Add a tiny HH logo to the bottom of the Make Cryptozoology Dangerous Again merchandise.
Okay. I would have to go in again and do it. I might do a redesign on it because I might do a different kind of dog man. I don't know, but I'll add a little logo. I could put the Helmet Holler logo up where the star is. But I don't know. That might be too small for the logo. The logo's very complex.
So, anyway, that's out there. If you'd like it, knock yourself out.
Have at it.
Knock yourselves out. But anyway, Jess put a lot of work in there.
All right, we'll talk to you guys later.
That's it. We're just we got to just be like a QVC type show. Just instead of talking about anything we do or talking about phenomenon, just I'll be up here breaking samurai swords.
We were laughing about this weekend. We were talking about we get contacted by companies like Temu to do collaborations for them to sponsor their channel. We're not going to do that at all. So I was like, you know what? Let's just do merch, and we'll sponsor our own channel with merch and memberships, because once you start adding in ads for weird stuff, Like, we talked about gas station boner pills in the middle of our
exactly.
investigation.
I don't
Then it
want to
gets
stop
weird.
because everybody always wants you to do stuff in the videos. I don't want to stop I don't want to like, we see a weird light in the woods and then I go, but before we go to this weird light in the woods, I'd like to talk to you about term life insurance.
So instead, what we're going to do is have maybe a helmet holler hat on or something. And then we'll just stop in the middle and go, have I talked to you about the Dooster static detector? We'll actually show stuff we use and like. Hopefully Dewey launches his own little store where he sells.
He could do
units.
like boutique, like bougie,
yeah,
like ghost hunting stuff. And but Professor Geek, thank you for that. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Looking forward to buying some merch. We worked for Thanksgiving, like the mundane jobs, because we were off for CryptidCon and then came back and we had to kind of hit the ground running. So we didn't see each other for like 3 days. But it was good. It was real good. Weather turned cold finally. Real cold. I mean, we didn't have fall. It went from like summer to like winter. It was bananas. It was absolutely bananas. We're in an area checking on some reports of some physical activity, something on the ground. I can't go into a lot of details for it as of yet, but there have been some people on horseback who have had some sightings of possibly Bigfoot. At least I'm assuming that's what it is. Sightings of something weird, bipedal, 2 legs, running around, big, hairy. And it's been on horseback. So we were up in that area and we went over to an area where we saw some weird lights out, where we had done a live stream one night. We had been in that area trying to get into an old research area that we could no longer access because of the storm that came up.
Yeah.
And we found a clearing and it seemed really calm there and it seemed peaceful there. And we had a clear open view of the sky. So we set the Starlink up there and just did a quick kind of like live stream to kind of catch everybody up and let everybody know what we were doing. And while the live stream was going on, we all started seeing lights come out of the trees and just kind of dancing around in the treetops. And we didn't notice it at the time, and we didn't even really see it in the chat, but people saw eye shine on the ground fairly close to us, kind of ducking back behind a tree, if I remember correctly. But the lights in the sky was the real interesting thing. These like balls of light coming out of the tree line, kind of rising up and then just dancing, kind of drifting and dancing around in the trees. We all filmed it and people were able to watch it live. So we went back there this weekend and it was even weirder somehow. We were picking up lights. Now this time we had our Psionics camera, our full color night vision camera. And we were picking up lights on this that were close.
Yeah.
100.
We didn't realize how close they were until we hit it with the flashlight.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
100 yards away, a little over 100 yards probably, but we couldn't see anything with the naked eye. But then they were really apparent. I mean, they were bright on the Psionics. So that tells us that they were above the visual spectrum, that your naked eye could see. And I think we said naked eye probably. People were turning it into a drinking game at that point. Every time we would go, it's invisible to the naked eye.
That's like every time I find a small arch or a tree that's arched over, I'm like, it's pinned.
Yeah. So we
put it on your helmet holler bingo card.
But so that just tells us that it was above our visual spectrum, but it was still within the infrared spectrum that the psionics could pick up. But they were so bright, they were wild. And then we're realizing these lights are probably out a lot more often than what people expect. You just can't see them. They're there. You just can't see a lot of them.
But we have the right equipment.
We got the right equipment, so we can film.
And it's the same case, I think, with the brown mountain lights. A lot of those things that we captured, you could barely make them out with the naked eye. But then when we had that Psionics Aurora Sport out there, you could really see them. But like with the naked eye.
And it was cool because we had the Psionics set up on a tripod, and then we were using the app and then kind of holding the app up so people could see it live. And we were all watching them. We were pointing the camera in the direction that the lights were there. You wouldn't see anything at all. Point the Psionics there and then show people on the app. And you could see exactly what it was. You could see these lights. You could see these weird lights. And then when we illuminated the area, like Jesse said, we realized it was so close to us. And I'm going, they're really visible on this like infrared camera. You can't see them on the we were streaming from the phone camera, and you can't see them with the naked eye, but they're there. You could see them going in front of trees, behind trees. So they were solid balls of light that you just could not see with your naked eye. And the reason why we went there is there's this crazy UFO flap going on right now that
I can actually show just a little bit of the setup from that live video we had that we did it in the field. Here, let me get that queued up for us. And you can actually see the kind of setup that we were working with.
William Kennedy wants to know if you're going to do bumper. Pretty good idea. Like a bumper sticker option on there?
I don't think so, but I can look into what I can do for that. Sure.
Good idea. The Deuster's on here. Deuster, we've been talking about you.
Talking about you, dude. All right.
Michael had asked if you see those light orbs coming out of the forest, maybe hit the ground around it with your laser, see if there's a reaction, a sound, a movement, a feeling you might possibly experience. We were actually hitting that area with the laser this Saturday. We were hitting the area where the lights were coming out of the laser. You have to watch out shooting the lights into the sky.
Yeah, that's a federal crime.
Yeah, I want to go to federal prison. I'm too good looking for prisons. So they have to. And
all right, I've got this ready. If you want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
And just.
So this is just we did a live for the members on Saturday, like
impromptu,
we've been talking about,
just kind of
live from the field, and this is just kind of the setup we had because we had that Psionics Pro out there with us, and you're gonna have audio and everything with this guy. All right, check this out. So this is kind of the setup we had.
We're gonna have to kill the chat so you can't see because I can't see what I'm looking at here.
Okay.
It was pitch black at that point. Pitch black.
Look at this. There's one of the lights right there.
Yeah, there's one of the lights right there coming out of the tree. Yep, right there, out of the tree.
They come out of the tree line?
Yes.
I can't see it.
And they would just dance.
Look at that. It's floating through the trees. Oh my God.
Now you would see planes go. You'd see planes go right through. You got your cursor?
I'm using it. Yeah,
yeah.
you can't.
You'd see planes in
Go
the night
right about
sky
here.
Go across, and they were extremely distinctive. They looked like every other plane you've ever seen in the night sky.
Yeah.
Flashing lights. These were just solid balls of light coming out of the trees, dancing around in the trees, and then going out. But that light right there, you could see it. It's just a ball of light, and it's big.
Oh.
It's big.
Of course, it's me flipping out here.
Oh my God.
No, it's not a planet.
But it was
Not
big, and
Look at that.
That's bright on the
That is
side.
wicked.
so pause it real quick.
Look at it.
But it just, we kept catching them. We caught them pretty quickly too. And so the last ones were visible. These were invisible except for the right equipment, but they're there. And that just makes me wonder how much is out on night skies that you just can't see with the naked eye.
Yeah.
You can't see with like a standard telescope. You just can't see any of these things, man, but they're there. And again, it's not a drone. Is somebody going to build a drone and hide out in the freezing temperatures and
In the middle of nowhere?
and hope that some idiot is going to come along with a night vision camera that's going to be able to pick up that particular
They're like, there's those idiots.
level of infrared and again, it's so weird. I mean, it's
I was trying to see if there was another part I could bring up here pretty quickly, but
you can show the setup there real quick. So
let's see.
And we need an intern.
I need an intern.
So this is what we're seeing with the psionics. And I'm now right next to the psionics. That's the light for it. Okay. We are right next to the psionics. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to point the camera, or the phone rather, in the same direction as the psionics. And
Let me know when you want me to take my light down.
okay, drop your light.
Pitch black.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
All right.
pretty wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun. And we did the stream for about an hour and just kind of set up there stationary and filmed it. It was pretty awesome.
But that's what's so weird is this stuff is out there. And it is, I swear if there were more people doing what we do with the equipment that we use, they would be getting the same results if they were going in just one or two people. Let's just say two people, because I don't want to encourage anybody to do this alone. But if it's out there, the stuff is out there. It's out there, and you've got to go prepared to capture it. You've got to go prepared to catch it and film it and share it. And that has been one of the things that has been interesting about this UFO flap that's going on. So I guess we're at 7 days now, about 7 days ago, give or take a day. They're calling them drones started to appear over American air bases in the United Kingdom. And the residents around these air bases are the ones who originally brought attention to it. And nightly, different sizes appear to be different shaped craft, behaving in different ways, but the official word was there are drone swarms over these air bases. And they're behaving in ways that they keep saying, well, they're not hobbyist drones. They're not drones that are from just drone people that are doing it.
Moondog is warning. Dewey's in the chat now. Moondog's warning him, stay away from us because we're going to capture him and put him in a hole in the basement.
So thank you, Corinne. Sorry you guys missed you in Kentucky. We'll be there for the next one. We hope to see you guys at the next one.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But so these drones are coming out and they're going, well, they're not hobbyist drones, but there's nothing to be alarmed about. And I'm going, well, if they're not hobbyist drones, I mean, if they're not private citizens with drones, then it's a nation state. It's an organized, it's another government. And if they're doing that, shouldn't you be worried about that? I mean, drones can be weaponized extremely easily. And especially drones that are 20 feet, long. They're 20 feet wide at this point. And they're behaving in like such crazy ways and they're moving so quickly. At one, two fighter jets scramble up to meet it and it just zips across the sky. And people are going, well, it's because it's closer to the camera. It's the parallax. Da, da, da. And I'm going, didn't look like it to me. And if it was so far from the jets, as far as like altitude goes, it wouldn't have had to have left then. These jets were vectoring up to where it was, and this thing just scrambled out. So this has been going on night after night after night after night.
Death Wish says that one got shot down in Canada.
I think are you talking about from the Chinese spy balloons? What was that, a year ago?
I don't know. Clarification. So
this starts in military bases in the UK, but then people all over the world are posting crazy stuff to the internet right now. There's crazy lights in the sky all of a sudden everywhere. This is probably the biggest UFO flap of all time.
And widespread, like more widespread than anything else. I think prior to this, it was the Phoenix Lights, but that was centralized around Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah. And it is, matter of fact, somebody asked, Christopher, what do you think about the drones over DC? People are catching weird lights over DC, over military bases, near airports. And the amount of footage that's coming out online, if you're looking in the right place, is just, it's mind-boggling. It's just absolutely crazy. And it isn't stopping. And the military, both the British and the American military, kind of just seemed like they didn't really want to talk about it. It almost seemed as if they were hoping that it was just going to go away and it was going to stop. Well, it didn't. It just got more and more intensive. Now, there was a British YouTuber, and I can't remember the name of his YouTube channel. He is a military aircraft enthusiast. He's not into UFOs. He's not into weird stuff at all. He basically films aircraft, flying around, and that's his channel. It wasn't particularly big. Well, he's outside this one airbase. So he was going and filming the drones and then filming. They sent up Apache helicopters at one point. They sent up, I believe, F-15s at one point. At one point, from another airbase that was currently not being affected, they sent in what appears to be an electronics warfare plane, the thing that will scramble signals and block and do everything like that. And none of it had any effect on any of this. They had tried to deploy military grade drone blocking technology. There's a system called Ninja. How cool is that? Ninja. There's a system called Ninja that you can either knock a drone out of the air or take control of the drone and land it yourself. None of those have been effective at this point. And I go back to this, that if it's let's say it's an adversary, let's say it's Russia. Russia's been at war for like the longest time, man. I think
they're just now deploying this.
They're just now deploying this. And so there's been rumors that nukes have been moved onto these air bases, kind of staging them out west, because of all the hostilities in Europe and how crazy it is there. And they said that this is what prompted all of this quote unquote drone activity.
I've got this queued up if you want to get
Yeah.
to that in a second.
So the
Grace
drone,
asked
and
about
I've seen some of the images that people have taken. At one point, the footage is, all right, let me back up. The footage is going up and it's getting knocked down quick. It's getting taken down quick. The British guy that I mentioned, his YouTube channel got just killed, deleted. He started up another one, got axed. YouTube themselves didn't know what happened. They thought that maybe their AI program had flagged something and had taken it down. They didn't know. They couldn't give them an answer. So if they did know, they weren't talking. But several people have been putting up footage, good footage, crazy footage, and it's just getting knocked down real quick. I was watching in real time on Reddit. It was bizarre. People,
you were screaming and running through the house.
I was going crazy watching it because I'm watching it happen in real time. It always goes back to what I say. This day and age, it's easier than ever to share stuff that you catch of anomalous phenomenon. It's easier than ever to make it go away and cover it up.
You could watch the real time and
I was
the
watching
real-time cover.
Real-time debunking efforts of people coming in and just mass downvoting stuff, just trying to like throw in like crazy. And it all seemed very hastily done. And I'm going, there's a cover up going on right now, but they're scrambling. They don't know what to do. They're not prepared for this level of activity right now. And at times they were just flat out making stuff vanish and then just not addressing it. Just going, we'd rather people go, something's going on because they're taking this stuff down than actually see what's being on. I saw thermal footage that was insane. And then all of a sudden people are coming in debunking the thermal footage. And I'm going,
people who don't have a background in using
thermal stuff, but they're so convinced that and they're so determined to make everybody think that it's false. And it's wild. I mean, it's wild. It's crazy stuff. It's crazy stuff seeing this. I mean, we've all been talking about it. Feels like something's building. Past week, it ain't building anymore. It's built.
The dam is starting to break loose. I want to take a moment. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I want to welcome Chi Mom Pam to the membership. Thank you for becoming a member.
Thank you for becoming a member. So
look, a Chihuahua lover, aren't we all?
But you're watching it happen in real time now. I'm watching a cover up in real time right now. If other countries have leapfrogged us multiple times in drone technology, I think it would have come out of the past couple of years. They would not have hesitated to use it. And it's so, one of the things that got taken down is that somebody was able to intercept chatter between some of the fighter pilots that were out looking for these things. And one of the guys goes, I'm watching, now there's some debate of whether he said UAP with a P, unidentified aerial phenomenon, or UAV, unmanned
aerial
vehicle. However, it sounded like he said UAP, but he was saying, I'm watching them rise up out of a field to the north here. And then they realized people were hearing them. That got taken down, although it might be back up. People are furiously trying to copy stuff when it gets online and repost it in multiple places because they know it's being taken down. It's almost as quick as it goes up. But they have
new product idea from Alan Howell. Need Hellbent Holler foil lined helmets.
But it's been crazy watching it. And I'm watching it and I'm going, it's such a heavy-handed cover up that I'm watching. And the debunking efforts, I'm watching people with just the stupidest And there appears to be a bunch of them. It's just deafening sometimes, the very clumsy and lazy and just heavy-handed BS excuses for what people are
And
experiencing.
debunking by decree.
Yeah, just this has
that
been
occurs.
debunked. You guys don't need to pay any attention to this. This has been debunked. And I'm going, you got military pilots on here going, you don't usually launch F-15s to deal with drones. They have ways to take care of drones. They have ways to deal with drones. You don't have to launch electronic countermeasure aircraft to deal with these. And it's weird because it was so reactive. It's like they weren't prepared for this. Again, it seemed like they were just hoping that it was going to go, they could ignore and it would go away. And then when it didn't go away, they're scrambling. People were using flight tracker apps to watch the airplanes coming in, the military craft coming in. Well, then they erased all of that off these flight
It
tracker
seems like the
apps.
cover up is like whack-a-mole too.
It is.
So
It's
many
total whack-a-mole.
people
That's a perfect
who are like
description.
coming up with different ways to kind of like bring proof
You
out.
were seeing,
you know?
but here's my thing is that you're starting to see, at first it was just people out with cell phones trying to get it. Now you're starting to see people rush into the area because the activity keeps happening with thermal cameras. This guy had a $10,000 thermal scope that he was able to capture 3 spheres flying in a perfect triangle formation, and they're moving around and people are going, oh, well, that's just a lens glare. And I'm going, it's a thermal image. The dude's picking up a thermal image. There were lights in DC that were seen that they tried to say were reflections of lights that were on the ground, because there were some lights on the ground that were in a general pattern kind of similar to it. But then people were going, no, this has been edited to show this, because then they were showing these orbs in the air from different angles. And they were going, no, this was like an image that was thrown up really hastily to try to explain all this. But here's these same lights from multiple angles, and there's no lights on the ground that these are causing reflections. This is over the nation's capital.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's wild. And it's just, I'm looking at it and I'm going, you have to really have your head in the sand at this point. And you have to want it to not be real to be able to just stay blind to this.
And you have to put the blinders on, and you have to ignore the evidence that is put before you on an ongoing basis in real time. And you have to just deny everything. Just deny everything. It's the guy in front, in the Iraq guy. Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. There's like American tanks
fine.
going down Baghdad, and he's like, everything's under control.
Fine.
We've stopped the Americans. Baghdad Bob is what his name was.
Baghdad Bob, yes.
But people are catching lights that look identical to the Brown Mountain lights over nuclear reactors in North Carolina, just north of us. Do you have that footage to throw up here?
I have the North Carolina footage. I was bringing up Baghdad Bob.
Show us Baghdad Bob, because that's going to be the new.
Hey, let's roll that Baghdad Bob footage.
That's the famous pose right there.
Right there.
Actually, what does that one say?
War memes. Just
Yeah,
something
no.
stupid. There we go. Yeah, I've got that North Carolina footage. We'll take a look at that in 1 second.
Here, just it's taking forever here. Good Lord.
Leave me alone.
Everybody left.
They did not.
Because literally, I'm watching
Continue
everybody
your
leave.
rant.
It's taking some.
Quit this babbling at me. There. Baghdad Bob.
Nothing to see here. But that's what you're saying, man. That's
Exactly what's happening.
You're seeing this. I have seen the craziest stuff come up over the last like 7 days. And I've also seen, this is how it's so insidious, brand new accounts like on Reddit will all of a sudden bring up obviously fake UFO footage, UAP footage. And you're going, is this somebody doing this just for like, you know,
muddy the waters,
to muddy the waters, or for their own enjoyment? Or is it to kind of go, oh, this is all fake. Look at this. This is to maybe have people go, well, that's obviously fake. There must be nothing to all of this. I have watched basically information warfare online.
You're just eating popcorn.
Just watch. But it's
no, actually, he's running through the house screaming. So Grace W says some guys in North Carolina filmed some weird stuff going on in the sky a few days ago. This footage was taken in North Carolina over a nuclear power plant.
Nuclear power plant.
This is the footage. I think it looks just like our Brown Mountain Lights footage. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Can you play the video?
Yeah, it's going.
They form a triangle at one point. You can't play the audio because the dudes are cursing like just.
We're just gonna let it roll. You can hear us.
Yeah.
Yeah, did it stop? There you go.
So these are lights over a nuclear power plant, and
They're moving into
different
formation.
colors.
Look,
Now there's a plane going overhead, and that's what we saw the other night. You can tell a plane from.
look at that.
And then they stop.
That's what you call an isosceles triangle.
They form an isosceles triangle, thanks to Mr. Wizard here for a moment. And that's when we saw the Brown Mountain Lights, they all drifted and then they lined up and just stopped there for a second and then drifted back away. So extremely, and when we saw the Brown Mountain Lights,
look, and then now they're drifting away. They're moving back this way.
Yeah,
a plane does not move to the right and then turn
a plane
around.
go overhead there in a second ago, and it looked like a plane. Everybody knows what a freaking plane looks like.
Oh, now we're in. Yeah, they didn't stop in that way. That's wild though. And look, they're different colors. That one at the top is
Insanely
insane.
luminous. Orange, bluish white. That one of the smaller one turns colors, but it's going on worldwide at this point. It's going on worldwide. There's so much stuff going on. There is
everybody's saying blue beam, blue beam, blue beam.
all right, I'm gonna get into this here real quick. So because actually I don't think one of the real interesting things that happens is there for years people have talked about that the United States has alien reproduction craft where they have reproduced like reverse engineered like alien craft.
The gifts, according to Diane Vasolka.
It's the TR-3B and it's the black triangle that everybody sees with the lights on the end. Well, fourth or fifth night over these air bases in Great Britain, they started seeing black triangles with lights that were completely different than the drone UAP things or whatever. And they've scrambled TR-3Bs out there that whatever's going on ain't stopping. And now that the American government's bringing in their alien reproduction craft to either try to like push this stuff away, monitor it, do whatever at this point. It is wild. It is wild, man.
I saw a headline earlier today. There was a man who claimed he saw a triangle-shaped UFO. I'm trying to find it right now. If I don't find it, I'll just say it. He's saying now that he was paid to say that. So this is just
he's saying he was paid to say it was fake. That is exactly what this guy got footage of some of these triangle-shaped UFOs, and then he came out and said it was a hoax. I just hoaxed everybody. Sorry, this was just a joke that got away from me. And then now he came out and went, no, it wasn't a hoax. I was paid and threatened to come out and say that. But it's eating at me, and I'm not going to stay by that story. What I gave was real. Examine the footage as much as you want to. But I was threatened and bribed to tell everybody it was a hoax afterwards. But what's crazy is, so at first it's the lights. Now it's these black triangles, and people are going, are these other alien craft, or are these the man-made ones going up to kind of challenge them? Now, the other weird flip is tomorrow is supposed to be...
I can't have any more flips.
Tomorrow...
Don't flip me.
December 3rd is supposed to be when UFO hostilities break out. That's a rumor that's been going around the internet right now. There's a guy who, and I have to always get his name because I never remember his name. I always want to say Cliff Stamp. Cliff Stamp was a guy that did like metallurgy tests for knives back in the day. Cliff High, he's a computer programmer. He's a computer scientist. He basically got these web crawlers up that would like mine through the internet for data. And he predicted the 2004 tsunami in Indonesia. He's predicted some stuff. Now all of his predictions have not come true, but he's got a pretty good track record as far as like predictions go. Mm-hmm. But they're usually for things involving the stock market. There was one natural disaster, but back in 2009, and here's where it gets a little murky. If you look at what's going around online right now, they're saying he said back in 2009 that Donald Trump being interviewed by Joe Rogan would be the moment that everybody would identify.
Are there receipts for this?
Well, that's where I'm getting into. So yeah, but they said that 39 days later that the alien stuff would kick off and that you would see basically aerial combat between different factions of non-human intelligences. And then mankind would join the fray and start fighting as well.
Okay.
And that it would be a slow build, but that tomorrow, December 3rd, is when it's supposed to kick off, and it's supposed to kick off noticeably. Now,
Man, you'd think they would project it a little further. If you're familiar with death cults, they usually push it out a little bit.
yeah, 2009 is when he did this. And so Joe Rogan even tweeted and just went, we'll see. This software, these like web bots were originally like to predict like fluctuations in the stock market. Okay. And they were looking at basically the online chatter to kind of gauge how the stock market was going to rise or fall. I don't know what sort of data these things could grab from the internet to make such a precise prediction. And to be honest with you, if this was happening just in a vacuum, I would go, it's a bunch of BS and it ain't happening. But it's happening supposedly right as all this other craziness is going on right now. So I don't know, but it was basically, and I'm going to read you just how it goes. It's an alien invasion was predicted for December 3rd, 2024 by an AI stock software predictor back in 2009. AI is a little stretched and a little thin, but it would be triggered the day that Joe Rogan interviewed Trump. And he said that the alien invasion is going to include battle between different factions of UFOs and then the military. So this guy did predict the 2004 tsunami in Indonesia. And he began making futuristic claims all the way back in 1990. Mm-hmm. He was using a thing called predictive linguistics, these web bots that would just go through the internet and just, find up all of that. These web bots analyze vast amounts of internet data, particularly focusing on the emotional content of words to forecast potential future events. And that's where to me, it kind of falls apart because it's looking for the emotional content of words. What words were on the internet all the way back then that would make you think an alien invasion is going to kick off on December 3rd? To me, I'm just going, that doesn't make sense. Okay, that doesn't make sense.
So this is 2004?
Well, that's the thing is that he predicted the 2004 tsunami. I'm getting various dates as to when this happened.
Oh, okay, all right.
And that's the thing is that this story's muddled quite a bit.
Yeah. It just seemed like there's no receipts here either. Like, is there?
I don't know. It's a lot of people just want like TikTok content. So they're throwing stuff out, or
the TikTok.
Maybe there's more purposely muddying of the waters going on. I don't know.
Grizz, our boy Grizz says, y'all should do a War of the Worlds live tomorrow night.
Oh, gee, that's not a bad idea. Jesse's got class.
Class. I
might hop on tomorrow night.
I'm no longer a college gal anymore.
I might hop on and do a little. That's not a bad idea. And we can kind of go through it real time and see what's going on.
Like monitor the situation.
Well, now keep in mind that Britain's a ways behind us because a lot of this stuff is kicking off. I don't even know what the time zone difference is.
Oh, so it's going to kick off while we're sleeping, huh?
Well,
they're ahead of us.
The
sun rises in the east.
Lord. There's footage from Phoenix. It's all over the place. But then what's crazy to me is again, I go back to this as I'm watching this and I'm going, human nature is weird. Some people just want to throw fake stuff out there for their own amusement sometimes. Again, it all seemed reactive. People would post video that they took.
Why have we not heard about this prediction until today or like the last couple of days?
It's been bandied around for the past couple of days.
Right.
So, but people would post footage that they had caught of weird lights on the sky, and it would get taken down, and then they would repost it, and other people would start to post it, and then it would be all of these brand new accounts that I've mostly saw this happen on Reddit because that's the biggest platform for real-time discussion as far as this stuff goes. And I'm watching all of a sudden a bunch of accounts come out and clumsily kind of say it's all BS. And then people would go, these are an awful lot of brand new accounts that just started up to come do this. And then once that's pointed out, then all of a sudden it's long dormant accounts that haven't been used for a while. People like logged out of Reddit, forgot their password, whatever. All of a sudden, old accounts that haven't had any recent activity start chiming in, almost like somebody went, oh, they're on to the new accounts. We got to switch to this. And I'm going, this is a clumsy, reactive cover up. And, you know, the powers that be have plans for almost anything. I guess it's one thing to sit around in a room and go, this is what we'll do. And then all of a sudden, I guess in the past, these lights have just occurred over just short periods of time. It hasn't stretched on to a week plus at that point.
For some reason, everyone in the chat is talking about wearing clean underwear and getting probed. So that's where they've taken it at this point.
You were surprised at this how with our...
I really messed up by not launching the Hellbent Holler shop with alien-proof underwear 2 weeks ago. You know, really missed an opportunity on this invasion thing.
Lady Wolf, thank you for being a member for 13 months.
Thank you,
Chris,
Lady
too.
Wolf.
So y'all been hanging in there with us. So what's crazy is man, there's only 2 of us. We've got reports of possible Bigfoot activity taking place in the mountains while this is going on. So we're going to try to do these investigations into Bigfoot, and then we're going to try to break away and then try to set up some equipment, because that's the one thing is I said, man, I wish we were in Great Britain, or I wish that this was happening consistently over here. Now, the other thing too is that the people that are trying to use this equipment around these military bases are getting hit real time. One guy was
taken down.
Well, one guy was live streaming, and he goes, "There's an MOD, a Ministry of Defense, the British Department of Defense, an MOD vehicle pulling up here, and there's 2 guys getting out." And he's like, "I'm going to stream to the last minute." And he's like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" And he's streaming this, and they tell him he's got to stop. One person took their drone there and launched their drone and was trying to get their drone. They've got a great hobbyist drone, like beyond like just like a regular.
Near a military installation?
Yes. And they were on them.
That's not good.
Within 5 minutes, they had them.
Yeah, that's
5
not
minutes,
good.
they had them. One other person launched from away from the base and tried to get up there. They took control of his, when I say they, the military took control of his drone, landed it, and then they showed up at his house.
Yeah.
So they're able to do that for really, really good hobbyist drones.
Yeah.
But they can't do it with whatever these lights are around there.
So we do have Keith Prince. Somebody had a good idea. This is our first foreign correspondent for Hellbent Holler. He's in the UK. It's December 3rd, and it's 1:44 right now in the morning.
In the morning, okay.
Yes. So he'll be our foreign correspondent for this event.
But that's the thing, is that I'm going, man, if we could get there, but would we be allowed to film this stuff? And that's one of the things we always have to worry about contending with, is that if the authorities want to shut you down, we're 2 private citizens. Okay. And even if they can't make something stick, sometimes the process is the punishment.
Yeah.
If they came out, we're always worried about that. People tossing our equipment.
That was something we were concerned about in the LBL.
LBL
for sure.
is that, even if we didn't get arrested in the LBL,
A search could lead to a $4,000 thermal going smash onto the sidewalk.
The process is the punishment.
Michael Tovar, thank you for that, sir. Let's
Michael,
see what 12/3/24 brings us. We've had no lead up to this. We've had no time to prepare.
No, and Nadge mentioned Immaculate Constellation. This is Immaculate Constellation in real time, watching the struggle to keep this offline. But here's the thing that's kind of comforting, at least. They're struggling to keep the message down because the message has spread so much.
And it's just
so many
popping up everywhere.
And there's so much attention to this stuff nowadays. There's so much attention to this nowadays. There's so many people that are involved in this that weren't involved in it 10 years ago, and they take it seriously. And one of the things I've seen on some of the Reddit discussions are people finally going, tell me about night vision. Tell me about thermal imaging. What can I do to try to get this? My phone's not doing it. What can I do? And I'm going, man, if this starts getting equipment in the hands of citizen journalists, which is basically what we are at that point. We're citizen journalists. We're people who are out trying to document it and share it. That's the purpose of a journalist.
You also didn't have these encrypted networks 10 years ago. You
Oh,
didn't
no,
have,
man.
you have
So-
private discords where people are sharing information, where people are sharing what's going on, footage. And then you've got encrypted networks
Yeah.
where people are sharing this in real time and they can't squish it all.
Lady Wolf has got one that she sent me, which is wild. She mentioned it to me in passing, and I'm like, what did you just say? And so she sent me the article. And Lady Wolf, you'll have to, I'm way behind in the chat, but if you can tell people, I think it was from New Jersey. I can't remember where the article is from, but people were seeing these lights like every night. And the official statement was, we just think they're drones, nothing to really worry about. There's really nothing to be seen. You know, don't worry about it. We're looking into it, but there's no cause for concern. These are just drones. Don't worry about it. But if one does come down, you need to stay away from it, and whatever you do, don't touch it. And I'm going, don't touch it. It's one thing to go, listen, we're having some drone incursions near sensitive airspace. The authorities are looking into this. If you do see one of these drones and it's come down, please alert us so we can come and get it. We're trying to figure out who these people are. No, don't touch it. Whatever you do, don't touch it. And I'm going, what the hell does that mean, man?
Well,
It's almost like you're dealing with like radioactive material and you're saying stay away from it, and whatever you do, don't touch it.
Or like I think you and I were talking about this the other night, the Virginia incident that
They got sick from touching it.
the soldier who grabbed the creature actually
Yeah.
got sick very shortly after and died. Don't
Hydra
touch it.
Ninja wants to know, do you think the government will eventually talk about Bigfoot and Dogman like they have UFOs and UAPs? A lot of the power players have alluded to it around the edges. I always talk about how Lou Elizondo, whenever talk, and it doesn't really happen nowadays like it used to, but because the UFO topic has kind of like taken off from everything else. It's taken much more credibly by a lot of people are. But back in the day, people would ask him, what do you think about the thing, and it's usually as it relates to Skinwalker Ranch and some of the physical entities they've seen, or the upright canine, the upright canids that people would see in their property after having experiences with UFOs.
The cryptid field really needs our own Gary Nolan.
Yeah, well, he'd get very uncomfortable and he'd go, well, I don't really want to talk about that, but there are things that go bump in the night. And that was the common refrain. There are things that go bump in the night. And people that have top secret government clearance who are credible enough to sway public opinion on UFOs being real, non-human intelligence as being real, are also saying, oh yeah, and by the way, there was a 7-foot tall werewolf in my backyard in the suburbs of DC after I had an encounter with one of these things. I think that, we talk, and we haven't talked about it a lot recently, but the boggle threshold, how people are willing to believe weird stuff up to a certain level, and then their mind just boggles afterwards. They just can't come. I'm willing to give you this. I'll UFOs maybe, but Dogman, that's just crazy talk. I think people's boggle thresholds are the threshold is getting pushed back a little bit. And I think that might be part of the reason why they're trying to cover this stuff up, is because they know that if they really admit to anything, a lot of people are going to go, well, what else have you lied to us about? What else is out there that exists that we were told you were crazy to even discuss it? What else exists out there that we've been conditioned to just instantly go, well, that's impossible? Those people are crazy that have seen that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But to the Project Bluebeam thing, you can't rule that out. But here's where I'm at with Project Bluebeam. And I'm not saying it's an impossibility, but I don't think that's what's going on here. And here's why. I think that you're seeing such a seesaw nature of disclosure because there's different factions in the government. The government's not a monolithic power. There are different factions within the government, just like there are in any large groups, and they're motivated by different things. Some of them are motivated out of patriotism, which I think some of the people that are working for disclosure feel like they have a duty to the American people and they want to get it out. Other people are motivated by personal power. Other people might be motivated out of a sense of duty, but that's why they want to keep it covered up, because they don't think anything good is going to come from disclosure and they're trying to protect people. But I think that you're seeing some of them, Collins Elite, they're trying to cover it up because they think these are demonic forces.
Yeah, it never ends well.
Yeah. And so I think that there's so many fighting factions. That's why you see all of a sudden disclosure kind of advance and then take 3 steps back, because there's a jockeying for position with all of these different factions that you have, different intelligence agencies, different legacy programs that we don't know anything about. defense contractors, all of these people fighting to try to advance or cover up the subject. And I think that there's too much infighting for something like Blue Beam to come along. Because I think that if it is...
Because there would be instantly somebody blowing the whistle on that.
Or it would be somebody proving it that it's just holographic stuff.
Yeah.
There's going to be... There's so much infighting that if you were like, all right, we're going to project holographic images of UFOs over major American cities, how do you know that another faction's not going to somehow...
And let's be honest, it's a lot easier and more believable to do a different type of false flag than alien invasion.
Well,
you know?
I think that you would be able to... You couldn't guarantee that jet fighters were not going to go be scrambled and
because
fire
that communication
upon them,
wasn't made.
and they just all of a sudden, one of the other factions that you were working against managed to get them up there,
Yeah.
and then they fire and they go, these things are just holograms, they're not real. And if the government did have alien technology that they've managed to harness and they had it in sufficient numbers enough, well, then they don't need to fake aliens at all. They could just take over.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had control of the things we're seeing in the skies right now, you don't need any subterfuge. You can come out and go, hi, my name's Gary and I work for Lockheed Martin. I'm part of a legacy program. And for the last 20 years, we have perfected this alien technology. And by the way, we're in control now. We're now in control of the entire world, and we're going to shut down your nuke. We're going to basically disable all of your military aircraft. We are now in control. And there's literally nothing you can do about it because we have this technology and the rest of the world doesn't. And in sufficient quantities, which really wouldn't even need to be that high, you control the world at that point. So,
Woo!
bless you.
Oh, God.
Uh-oh,
Sorry.
sneezing fit coming on. She never sneezes once.
Oh, it's coming.
It's always going to be a third. Here's a third sneeze coming.
I'm sorry.
Here's a third sneeze
Joe's
coming.
making these revelations, and I'm...
But again, you can't rule it out, but I just look at it and I go, I don't think it's as easy as just the government's doing this because the government's not monolithic. It's not one.
No,
doesn't
it's
speak
not.
in one
Nothing
voice.
is in lockstep with it, as you can tell, obviously. Thank you for the bless yous. Thank you.
So,
Wild.
kind of catching up with, but so I don't know. But like I said, here again, do I think that something's going to unfold tomorrow with this like webbot Rogan Trump prophecy? I don't really think
The webbot Robin Trump.
But at the same token, the timing is weird that all
It
this
is.
stuff started up right as this is supposed to hit. So I don't find it. I can't say it's impossible.
Kaiju Ninja 1985 says, should we be concerned of UFOs over nuclear power plants? We live in proximity to one.
Yeah.
So hopefully, no. But we've not had any down this way, just that North Carolina one. Were there any other ones stateside? Were there any other light phenomena going on above power plants?
Oh, they're
stateside?
everywhere right now.
Okay.
Power plants, military bases, airfields.
Okay.
It's so much to this point that it's difficult to catalog them because they disappear, then they reappear, they disappear. Sometimes the original footage goes away and it gets re-uploaded by other parties and it's been tampered with to make it look faker than hell.
Oh, wow.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. There is
The cover-up machine is just
but it's
cranking
not
along.
complete. And I think that there are other government entities that are trying to get the word. You're watching warfare in the electronic age, right?
Yeah,
in the
it's an
information
internal.
age right now.
It's an internal.
You're watching
war,
an
too.
internal conflict in it.
Nuts. Knife check.
Oh, so we are spending money on the channel for Christmas this year. So we're not really going all out for Christmas with one another. We got each other one present and we bought them early.
Yes, we did. We got these on the way.
We had to.
These are our Christmas presents to each other.
Yeah, we had to throw
We got
some.
them on the way to Cryptid Talk.
We
Cryptid
have the
Con.
tech that Dewey built for us, and then we had a couple other things. I've got to get some camera repair work done and stuff like that. So
I didn't pull this out of
we
the box
bought each
yet.
other a knife for Christmas, and we went ahead and gave it to each
Yeah.
other.
Yep. Joseph,
I like big knives. I like big, heavy knives.
this sounds like you're going into confessional. I like
It does
no.
sound like I'm going into confessional.
Bless me, Father.
Even if you carry firearms, there's just something like primal about having like a sharpened hunk of steel with you in some of these situations. It's like atavistic almost. It's bizarre. So, but a lot of times I got stuff strapped to me everywhere. I can't carry like big Bowies and stuff like that. So Jesse got me a half-breed knives.
It looks small right
It
there.
looks
You need
small.
you need to bring it
man,
out.
it's a brick.
It's a beast.
brick. It is So it's a lot of knife in a very small package. It is a brick. It's extremely wide. It's extremely,
And the sheath is cool.
yeah, the sheath is cool. It's just
Australian made too, right?
Australian made. It's just awesome. It is. I just saw it and I fell in love with it. And I was going, man, that's going to give me a lot of chopping power in a very compact package. So that was Jesse's Christmas present to me.
And then my Christmas present from Joe was a Tor Knives Crypteria. Yeah, it's dope. It's got carbon fiber handles, and this is the heavy metal edition. It's got a cool like goat's head logo on there, so it's really cool. You've got some red liners there, but that is mine, and it is sharp. It is a beast.
Yeah.
So that is my little Christmas present from my Joe.
We were hitting so much traffic going into CryptidCon. We had to pull over and get some drinks and use the rest area.
And that's also the exit where the Buc-ee's is. So.
And so we had to, we went ahead and hit Smoky Mountain and got each other Christmas presents.
Yes. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. So, all right, kind of looking through chat here. Oh, man, I'm insanely behind in chat. Good Lord.
All right, where are we at?
So what we're going to do based on this is we went out looking for weird lights, took a little break, weird light break, and we found them Saturday night. We found them live with people watching. So no edited videos, no after the fact, live real time. We all observe these lights together.
Yeah.
I think that this stuff is increasing worldwide, and we are uniquely situated to have some equipment to kind of film this stuff. So I think whatever, if we're back in that similar area, following up with the other report,
I think we're going to
With the
go
horseback,
live again.
go live again,
Yeah.
and then set up some night vision, set up some thermal, set up some, the only problem is some of these areas are so remote, it's hard to kind of rock in all of the sensor tech that you need, but because I want to see, and is what's going on beyond the visual spectrum with this stuff. Even the non-visual spectrum, what's going on beyond the light aspect of it? Is there electromagnetic fields being generated? Is there any sort of weird, anything you pick up on the spectrum analyzer, on the Geiger counter? We have some other technology that we've never really shown publicly.
And
some of which
eventually,
that you've seen on Skinwalker Ranch that then I realized after the fact that they were using on Skinwalker Ranch, and I'm on the right track because obviously you've got some heavy hitters doing that at this point.
and eventually we can integrate some of my contact technology into this as well.
So I don't know, but I mean, there's just so much stuff going on. And I think that all of us need to keep our eyes on the sky right now. And all of us need to, if you have camera equipment or anything, but what's crazy is I was seeing some decent stuff from some of the latest phones. Some of the latest phones.
The new iPhone. So when the Northern Lights were dipping down all the way down into South Carolina and everything, anybody that I knew with an iPhone was getting the most beautiful photos. They're like, well, this is not what I saw. This is just what my phone captured. So the low light capabilities of the later generations of these phones is amazing. So even just using that is very, very helpful. I think Anna Jones was showing us from Jonestead Farm was showing us some photos at CryptidCon of some crazy stuff that they got using their phones in low light mode.
So MK Ultra had asked anybody saw that Manchester, UK airport orb photo taken by a pilot. A pilot, Manchester airport, there was a blue orb with streaks in it hovering right above the tarmac.
Oh yeah, that
and
was
they started
crazy.
taking photos of it. And between the photos, you could see it kind of move, and then it shot into the sky. They were able to get some film on it, and it shot into the sky at that point. And these dudes were just going, we've got to post this anonymously. This is insane. It was right on the ground next to us. Well, the airport came out when they were contacted and went, no, that didn't happen here. That's fake. And then that's the one that I was referencing. Footage of that was being pulled offline, but then it was being re-uploaded and it was digitally messed with.
Yeah.
So then people would go, oh, this has been tampered with. This is altered. This is all fake. And I'm going, yeah, but this ain't the original stuff that came up, but people were doing it and it was bad CGI overlaying the real object at this point. So it's everywhere right now, man. It's everywhere.
This is a question we've gotten several times, and I'll go ahead and address this. Kaiju Ninja 1985 says, what if you fly a drone up to one of the Brown Mountain Lights? That is a national wilderness area. It is illegal to operate a drone in that area, and your drone won't even take off.
Yeah, we talked to Alex Pettikov
in that
about
area,
that. It's
so-
now you could possibly override that because of the area you're in. The GPS is going to tell it what it is, and it won't take off. But if you did, you are going to need something far beyond a commercial grade drone with the winds that are up
Because
there.
it is the Linville Gorge.
It is insanely windy up there. It is insanely windy. You would almost need military grade drone tech to do that, to be able to fly up in those winds like that. Because I mean, it is to the point when we were up there trying to recreate some of the lights, we would get hit with wind gusts.
Yeah.
You'd have to kind of hunker down, drop your center of gravity because
It's
you're going.
insane.
It's insane up there. So
And then the gorge just funnels that wind. It's
Yeah.
wild. We're at 9:02 p.m. We're gonna wrap it up. Anybody got anything else? We're gonna do last call.
Miranda had. Thank you for that, Miranda. Helping
Thank
out our
you.
t-shirts. Probing a lot. I'm just here for the probing, sir.
Pork Chop Express suggests we just use bottle rockets. Let's go with the old school
Old
tech.
school.
It'll just go. Doo. All right, you guys got
John Jones
anything
had mentioned
else?
that he lives in New Jersey, and they're still saying it. I think that's in relation to don't touch them.
Don't touch.
Don't touch. These drones are nothing to worry about. We're looking into it, but nothing to be concerned about. But if you do see one that goes down, stay away from it. And whatever you do, don't touch it. Don't touch it. So bizarre. All right, we're going to
Hey.
wrap it up here.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
Oh, good Lord. Anyway, thank you all again. Check out the merch. Stuff has sold out. We may try to do a drop some more. Get
Right
some
there
more.
is the link to the Helmet Holler merch. shop.
Some of the stuff is like print on demand, so they'll have unlimited numbers of it. Other stuff was stuff that we had that we were selling on there. I don't know. Jesse's not going to get any sleep for the next 2 nights trying to get stuff out for it. So
Yeah, I'll be shipping a bunch of stuff tomorrow. So looking forward to it.
yeah, so-
But yeah, thank you guys who have already purchased something from the store.
And
We
thank you for the
appreciate
members. We appreciate
And
you
thank
guys.
members. Yes.
You guys are keeping us in the field. You guys are keeping us going. You guys are keeping us going. Mr. Dog, so great to see you guys getting back to it. Can't wait to see the new stuffs. It's a coming. It is a coming. But
And then we'll do some new merch releases too, and
Yeah.
new designs and everything. And I'll do some restocks and
But
everything like that.
I just want to end with
so.
this. Keep your eyes on the sky. Have something ready. We have had things happen in the past. We obviously we do this all the time. At this point, I think we can consider ourselves professionals of this, don't you think?
Yes.
I think we could consider ourselves professional weirdo hunters. Weird stuff.
We don't hunt weirdos. We hunt weird stuff. So not weirdo hunters. Weirdo, comma
do
hunters.
some most dangerous game type stuff.
Yeah.
Drop weirdos in the woods and then just hunt them when you get the taste for hunting.
Hellbent
Okay.
Holler's canceled. Weirdo hunters is a go.
As a go. But just even with us being prepared and doing this all the time, stuff happens sometimes and you're just shocked. When I saw that black outline, that black static figure outline, you guys saw what I did. I didn't spring into action. I went, Jesus, and I took a kind of a step back because it was just overwhelming.
Luckily, we
in
had
the
that other
moment.
static cam rolling,
Yeah.
and we actually caught it, and then
Caught it.
actually caught it when reviewing the film.
But maybe if you got some time at night, go out and look at the sky and have something ready to go. And if you see something, film it and try to get it out. We've been talking for the past couple years going, it seems like things are accelerating. It seems like the veil is thinning. And if you can't look at what's going on right now and go, the veil ain't thinning, the veil is thin. It's here. It is here.
You better start
Maybe it's
believing in
major.
a thin veil zone because you're
Yeah.
living in it.
This might be major, this might be minor, but the feeling of building, we're at it. We're
Yeah.
here. We're there now. You know what I'm saying? We're there. And it ain't just us saying it, it's people all over the world seeing it. It's
Yeah.
people all over the world that are into this, that are paying attention to it, that are going, this is not the normal, oh, you see a couple lights, maybe it was Venus, maybe it was Starlink, never saw it again. It's there night after night after night after night after night now. So it's going to be wild. And we're going to try to do some more live on the scene type stuff this weekend.
Yeah.
Try to bust some new stuff out maybe, and try to see what we can get. I was shocked because when we started the live stream the other night, we just went, hey, we're in an area we've seen weird lights at before. Let's see what we see.
Let's give it a go.
Nothing happened for a while.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, bam, there it was.
Mhm.
So we live in exciting times right now. Whether it's going to be exciting good or exciting bad, I guess we'll all find that out together.
We're here for it.
We're here for it. So,
All right, guys, thank you for watching Hell Bent Holler Live. We appreciate you. Appreciate everything you do to keep this channel rolling. We appreciate your contributions to the conversation. This is the best chat in the cryptid world, I would say. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Keep your notifications on. Keep an eye out. I should be releasing a video on Friday. We are back to putting out our adventures, and we're hitting the ground running, hitting it hard.
and it's going to be, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be very fluid. We have got credible reports of possible Bigfoot activity going on.
Yeah.
With the stuff in the skies, it's almost like we're torn in two directions at once here at this point. So
We're just going to roll with the
we're
punches.
going to roll with the punches. So we may be on a Bigfoot investigation and then just switch gears as best we can, and try to look into stuff in the sky.
Yeah.
So I would like to do at an area where we have seen anomalous lights before. I would like to do just a full court press, try to document stuff. And I'm talking have all the sensor tech out, all the cameras up and rolling, multiple tripods going, everything on external power, and then broadcast it live to see what we get. So that if we do see something, experience something, it's all real time with an audience.
It would be wild. Brown Mountain Lights Part 2.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. We will catch you guys later. Keep your eye on the sky and don't touch it.